up, guys and gals? Today I figured I'd give you guys a little change up, a little different video, because today's graduation. I'm writing, filming, doing all this on the day I'm graduating. And then I figured, hey, why don't I talk about some things I learned while being at college? So without any further ado, let's get into this. First and foremost, nobody cares about you as much as you think. I know you may think that everyone cares what you look like, everyone cares the outfits you wear, everyone's thinking about you, this and that, when you're walking in class doing this, that. Truthfully, everyone has their own problems, everyone has their own things, so do what's right by you. Obviously, don't go crazy, do insane stuff, but just don't worry about that. It's one less thing to have on your plate, let's just say. Next up is a very important one, and this is something that I think is a constant in every college, but the first 2 years are pretty much an exact duplicate of what you did in high school. Like, you're gonna take English classes, math classes, maybe a history class, science, all that stuff. Kind of the same way you did in high school, and you're trying to get all these credits. So the first 2 years, you're not really gonna be taking classes based off your major or whatever. And that's why to many, if you're trying to save money, just go the community college route, take those classes, do that in the meantime, and then you'll pretty much be in the same situation as all the people going into their junior year. So just keep that in mind going into all this. This might seem obvious, but there's gonna be a lot of people around during the school year, especially if you're at a big school. Like, walking to class is gonna be a whole thing. There's gonna be a lot of people around the halls or whatever. I personally went to one of the biggest schools in the country, so let's just say that there were a lot of kids, but I'm sure a lot of you guys will go to smaller, maybe mid-level, maybe bigger ones than this one. But just be aware that there's a lot of people around, and that leads to foot traffic, car traffic, this and that. So I just make sure to be aware of that, especially during the times of like 11 to 3, because campus is gonna be crazy. But on the other side of that, when there's not classes, when school's out, during the summer, winter breaks, school, campus, all that stuff is usually pretty much a ghost town. I mean, I'm at one of the biggest schools in the country, and there's, I would say, about like 5% as much people during the summer and winter break than there are during the school year. So if you want to do anything, if you want to wait, if you want to see a concert, do this or that, I would recommend doing it during the time when there's not a bunch of people around. This one's a big one, and it's a perception a lot of people have, and it's when it comes to drinking. Many people think that, oh, you go to college, you drink, do this, and it's really only if you want. If you're not in sorority, fraternity, any of that Greek life stuff, if you're not actively going to clubs, actively doing stuff, it's not going to come to you. Like, you have to kind of make it. So if you want that lifestyle, if you want that, then join those clubs, do this and that. But if you don't want to, you can kind of control your destiny in that aspect. So don't worry about that. And if people try to peer pressure you, just shoo them off. Just say, hey, hey, stop that. So just keep that in mind. Kind of tag along to this. They make alcohol pretty damn easy, at least where I am. Just drive through alcohol. Like, you can literally just drive through, get alcohol, do whatever, as long as you're of age. And so let's just say that there's a lot of opportunities, especially at party schools. Kind of tag along, but in a different aspect. There's no real guarantee that you'll find a girlfriend or boyfriend, or you'll be in a relationship during your time at college. I mean, this is dependent on how interested you are in relationships, but everyone thinks that, oh, I'll find that person, or I'll find this and that in college, but it's not a guarantee. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. If not, it's not. Don't sweat it if it doesn't work out, because ultimately there'll be something better down the line, but it's not as much as you expect. Like, you probably hear your parents are like, oh, we met in college, or we met during this, that. Just don't expect that for your experience. Talking about experience, everyone hears about the dorms and the whole dorm living situation, living like right next to someone, and you hear all this and that. At least in my case, I was living on my own for the first time outside of the family and stuff like that. And it's a cool experience. You get to know your dorm mates, get to know your suite mates, get to know all this. So try to take advantage of that time, really enjoy it, because it's that really genuine college experience. When you're on a dorm in campus, you hear stuff going on, there's people blasting music right next to you, you see stuff going on outside. You're soaking in that experience, because that's what college is. I spoke about it earlier, but it's not really until your junior year when you'll find out if you really like your major or not, because usually the classes first 2 years don't even have anything to do with it. So I would make sure to think about it, think it through, like really make sure the major is something you enjoy, whatever, and stuff like that. So you're not so far in and doing all this and you're like, oh, I don't really like that. Like, really think it through, see from experience, like ask people around, ask people who've done that, do this, so that you have an idea going into it. So you're not so overwhelmed when it all comes junior year. A little bit off track from that, but everyone talks about the freshman 15, they're gaining 15 pounds, they're gaining weight when you go to college and you're eating all that stuff. And it's a thing. If you wanted to, it's whatever, but if you're broke like me, I might have lost weight, honestly. I'm a pretty skinny dude, like I'm a skinny guy, but I mean, it's really your choice. Like, you can eat healthy, you can do this, do that, because there's like dining halls and stuff. So there's options, like there's healthy options, there's whatever options. I would say in my case, there's more unhealthy than healthy options, but as long as you're living an active lifestyle, as long as you're doing stuff constantly, putting on a bunch of weight is not a guarantee. But a little sidetrack from that, but one of the biggest things is finding a group of friends is important. And it's not a guarantee. It's not like you're, oh, I go to college, automatically gain +5 friends or whatever. You're gonna have to make an effort for it. So I'd say to be active in it, go outside of your comfort zone, whether it's your dorm mates, suite mates, or people in class, or doing clubs, sports, do all this stuff. Just be yourself, and people gravitate towards you if they mess with it. So I would just keep that in mind. This is kind of an overarching one, but college is not gonna go exactly how you think. It's not gonna follow the beats that you expect it will. It's not gonna go like the movies or TV shows. It's gonna be your own unique unique experience. So I would just keep that in mind going into it and not have any expectations. Just kind of see where the route takes you. Don't worry too much if it doesn't go exactly how you think or exactly how you want it, because that's just what college is. It's a unique experience that you have for however many years, and make the most of it. A good way to make the most of it is going to sporting events, unless you're some freezing cold, like we wear like 15 layers. But for the most part, I would say going to football games or maybe basketball games, stuff like that is a really good experience, even if you're not crazy into the sport, because it's just atmosphere is cool and all. But I'll just say, if you're in the student section, you'll likely have to stand up a decent bit of time. So just be prepared for a little leg workout for like a few hours. You're probably gonna be standing up, except for like the halves and all that stuff. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind that restaurants, gas stations, stores, all sorts of stuff is gonna be a little more expensive on campus, at least in my case, at least in my place. They'll have like little stations set up around. They'll have all sorts of like food and water and this and that. And they'll like throw the prices up, kind of like you're at an amusement park. So I would recommend going off campus for stuff, going off campus for groceries or this or that, because it will save you some money, because they love to charge up those prices. I just recommend being aware of what's outside of campus and keeping that in mind. But while inside college, you'll meet a lot of people. I mean, depending on the size of your school, depending on where it's located, depending on how big it is, this, that, and the other, you'll meet a lot of different people. It's a melting pot, so try to get to know as many people as you can. Be open and expanding your circle, because that's really big. And you can meet people that you never would have if you never gone there. So that's a really cool thing. But outside of that, I would make sure to have a few hobbies of your own. Have stuff that you like to do solo dolo, because everyone has their own schedule. Everyone's gonna have their own classes, work, all this and that. So it's not gonna work out where you'll be with people nonstop. Like, you'll have time by yourself. And in that time, make sure you have stuff that you enjoy, and make sure you're able to have a great time each and every day, even on off days and stuff. And just keep your mind and body right. After a bit of time, you'll likely get an apartment, get a place around campus. And I would recommend, even if it's a little scary, even if you don't have a bunch of friends by that point, to get an apartment with a few other people, because it will save you costs. You'll likely only be there a year or two or something like that. So worst comes to worst, if you have a bad roommate, it's a learning experience, it's a development. You develop some patience, you're able to do your own thing, whatever. But I'd recommend doing that, saving some money, because after college, you can go do whatever and stuff like that, and this extra money will help you for that and make it easier on you. Because you gotta keep in mind that college is more so the time in between classes than the classes themselves. I don't care what your major is, minor is, how many majors or how many things you have going on. The time in between those classes is when you really fine-tune yourself, find who you are, develop, and do all the stuff that everyone talks about in college. The classes themselves are just getting you that degree. So make sure in the time in between you make the most of it, do what you can, athletically, academically, career-wise, all that stuff, in order to set yourself up for a better future, because it will benefit down the line. You'll ultimately feel better, trust me on that. And with anything in life, this is probably something I should have learned earlier, but just make sure to be yourself. This isn't high school. People are not going to judge you. There's not a whole bunch of cliques. So just be yourself, be open, honest. That's where you'll meet your friends. Don't pretend to be someone. Don't fake it. I mean, what's the point of wasting time doing stuff like that? So just be yourself and you'll be better off for it. With that in mind, being yourself, don't be afraid to try something new. Join a club that maybe you're interested in but scared to do. Maybe ask out that girl or guy that you think is pretty or think is whatever and stuff like that. Try it out, because worst comes to worst, I mean, you just move on, because it's all a way to learn and grow. So just push out that comfort zone. And a big point of emphasis, and a big thing I've seen within my life and with lives of everyone around me, is that people have wasted a lot of time stressing and worrying about tests, projects, assignments, this, that. You'll be fine. Do the best you can and it'll be fine. I'm telling you, there are times in classes where the odds were stacked against me. I was doing like assignments, tests, and all that stuff where I had no idea what I was doing, and ultimately I'm here. It works itself out. Just try your best, go with the flow, and you'll be fine. If you have any questions, ask them. Ultimately, no one cares. They're just gonna move on to the next thing. Professors don't really care all that much. Like, you'll be fine. If it's really on your conscience, really feel like you should do it, just do it. And a good way to not like be overwhelmed by school, be overwhelmed with work and all that stuff, is make sure to have stuff in between the day so that you're not like overwhelmed and you're not worried about tests and all that stuff. Do things that you enjoy so that it balances you out. So you're not just drained doing this, worrying about this. Keep yourself in a good standing. It'll be fine. Huge thing is, don't take yourself too seriously. You'll find people that like you for you. Don't worry about what the haters say. Just do you. You'll find people and it'll be fine. If you're a fake version of yourself, you'll find fake people that gravitate towards a fake version. So you want to be your real self, and you'll find real people and have genuine connections that will last a lifetime. This might be the biggest one I have on here, and this is something that you can just do whatever in life, but live in the moment. Be present. Even if you have like a task, presentation, project, you have to go to work, do this and that, be present in the moment. Just let the tide go where it may. Just live in the moment, embrace each and every day, each and every hour, minute, all that stuff. Just make the most of it. Another big one is, don't try to please everyone around you. Just do what feels right to you, do what's right in your soul, and it will save you a lot of time. Because if people don't want to do that, that's their problem, that's not yours. All you can do is do the best you can, and that will serve you well the rest of your life. Another good thing to do do is every day do something like yoga, make the bed, a little workout, maybe go on a walk, do this and that. Do something that like makes you feel good, gets your mind, body right before the start of the day so that you're set off on a good path already. Like just do something, get something off the checklist, get something done so you're not sulking around just worrying, whatever. Do something and you're like, okay, I did this, now I can do that. And so you're not so worried about whatever's ahead of you. Something you could probably do every year is explore the ins and outs of campus, the city around you, town, wherever. Explore the like parks or lakes or different buildings, schools, museums. Just explore the area around because you'll likely find some hidden gems, some cool little things that you would miss if you're just going through the motions. So I would recommend doing that. You kind of do that anywhere in life, but there's no bigger point than when you're in school, like on campus. Another massive thing is don't gossip or keep something in. Just be open, honest, tell the truth. Don't bottle stuff in. Don't worry, don't stress, don't hold all the stuff in because it's ultimately going to lead to your detriment. If you just be open, honest, and transparent, it'll ultimately help you in the end, help you develop better relationships, help you develop better friendships, all that stuff. So just be honest. This is something that you probably wouldn't see in another one of these, but I'd recommend doing like one kind act or one nice thing a day. Like even if it's simple as opening a door, saying, oh, you look nice, or oh, thanks, professor, this, that. Like just do one or a few nice things a day and it will make yourself feel better and it will make that other person feel better as well. So it's just doing that. Even if you're feeling a little crummy, if you're feeling a little down, just do that and it will probably lift you up your spirit, probably make you feel better in the end. So 100% recommend that. Another huge thing is don't keep your feelings inside. If you really truly feel like, if you like love someone, if you really feel that for that guy or girl, don't keep it inside. Don't waste your time. Don't go throughout the college and just be like, oh, I should have done that, should have done this. The worst comes to worst, rejection. It's a way you learn, grow, get better as a person. So just throw it all out there, and if all worst comes to worst, you just learn and move on. Just shoot your shot. A little interesting one is I'd recommend expanding your music taste. I don't know if you have Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, all that stuff, but just expand your music taste, listen to new artists, do this and that. It's something you could do in between classes, something you could do, whatever. You could go on a walk and listen to the new songs, whatever, going to class, doing this and that. A key to take out all of this is just going out of your comfort zone, doing stuff that you wouldn't normally do, will ultimately lead to a better life, I think. Another huge one is it's not the end of the world if you do bad on a test or project, assignment, whatever. If I'm being honest, I've done bad on so many different tests, assignments, all that stuff, and I'm here. So if I can do it, then I know you can. Just try your best on all this stuff, and ultimately it'll work itself out. In a completely different area, it's super important to try and be active in some way, whether it's walking, doing yoga, working out, riding a bike, any of this other stuff. Just doing that helps you, even if it's a few minutes a day or doing this or that. It'll make you feel better. You'll feel healthier. Your body will feel better. If it's a day where you don't have anything and you just be sitting in your room, go on a walk or ride a bike or go to the gym, and it will help your overall mood. It'll boost your spirits. Your body will be happier because it'll just feel better. Kind of tag along to that in the mental aspect. Make sure to be mindful, not so worried about the stresses, what other people think you, whatever. Like just be a fan of yourself, big up yourself, be confident in who you are. And I'm telling you, there's not many things that can be more beneficial for you in your future than being happy and good with yourself, because it just absolutely wonders. When you do stuff like that, then you can go into class and strike up a conversation with someone new, talk to that girl or guy that you think is cute, shoot your shot. I mean, why not? And just go out your comfort zone. Because these classes, these situations, you're not really gonna have that many times. Classes end, so you're likely not gonna see that person after you finish that class or do that and that. So make sure to shoot your shot while you got it. Another huge thing is to make sure you're good before going into a serious relationship, because you don't want to lose yourself in that person. You don't want to be heartbroken and complete mess. Obviously, if it doesn't work out, no amount of training can help save you from being sad or a little bit of whatever and stuff like that, but it can prevent you from collapsing, from having like a whole breakdown, from having all this and being a complete wreck. If you're fine with yourself, then kind of go through, can deal with it, and then you'll be set. So be okay with yourself before you lose yourself in others. Tagging along with that a little bit, make sure to stay in communication with family and friends from back when, especially like your parents, like your mom and dad. Make sure to tell them you're doing okay, you're doing fine, this and that, because it will help ease them. It will take a weight off their shoulders. Just the little things can have a big difference. This is a bit different, but hey, your body's a temple. The way you treat it is how it will get back to you. So if you want to drink, if you want to do this or that or whatever, just keep it in moderation so you're not destroying yourself constantly, because it will catch up to you in the future. Even if you don't think it now, in the future your body will be like, damn. So at least like weaving in workouts or walking or doing this and that, drinking water when you're drinking or eating food and stuff like that will prevent you from down the road being like, lol. For the guys out there, you don't need big muscles to get girls. As long as you got a good personality, and especially if you're confident in yourself, you'll find someone that's fine. But don't try to push it, don't try to force it. If a relationship's not meant to be in college, not meant to be freshman, sophomore year, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, it will come naturally, so don't force it. Another big thing is listen to people that are older, they're wiser, they have a lot more knowledge, they've gone through a lot more. So even though you might not think it might apply to you, even though you might not think they might know this, listen to them, listen to their experiences, and it'll help you understand the path that you're on a little better and help you for the rest of your life. Another huge thing is no matter what you're doing each and every day, have fun with it. If it's a 3-hour class, if it's a game of volleyball, make the most of it, have fun with it. Because what's the point of sulking and being sad in these classes? Like, just make the most of it, talk to the people around you, ask questions to the teacher, lighten in the mood, like just be whatever and stuff like that, because no one wants to feel sad. No one wants to feel sluggish. Just jive through life, and it will make those classes, those tough classes, those shifts at work, all that stuff a lot better when you uplift yourself. So I would 100% recommend doing that no matter what you got going. There will be tough times, there will be sadness, almost certainly. There'll probably be tears, there'll probably be all sorts of stuff, but don't avoid it, don't ignore it. Feel the emotions, do that, because suppressing that, just like the same thing of suppressing truths or something with yourself or whatever, stuff like that, suppressing just never works out. Just let it go, write it out, do whatever, because it will help your mental and help your body so much more than you can ever imagine. No matter what's going on in your week, no matter how busy it is, how light it is, whatever and stuff like that, make it a point to have something to look forward to, whether it's a YouTube video, whether that's playing sports with friends or seeing someone or do this and that. Have something to look forward to each and every week, and that will give you motivation, give you whatever. A very important thing in college is having motivation, having whatever. So if you're not exactly thrilled with the degree, thrilled with whatever, make sure to have motivating factors keeping you going so you're not sulking down and ultimately gonna burn out. And if you're feeling down, if it's like a rough day or whatever, I would recommend going on a walk and maybe listening to music, because it's pretty much free therapy. So you might as well take advantage of it. Just walk through, maybe doing a sunset or sunrise, and just really sit in, understand how you're feeling, why you're feeling this certain things, and get yourself right mentally and physically. A big way to help that and to keep you in a good spot mentally is going out of your comfort zone and joining a club or doing a class or doing this or that. That may scare you, maybe a little nervous, but you think, hey, why not try it out? I mean, I took like a yoga class, and I'm a tall white guy that's barely flexible at all, and it was a fun experience. It was one of my favorite classes I took during college. So just going out of the comfort zone, seeing what's out there, and just trying it out, because I mean, there's a lot of choices. But throughout your experience, I would say make sure you do things, apply to jobs, look for opportunities within the stuff that you're actually passionate about, instead of just doing what your parents or what everyone else is doing. If that's not your passion, what you're doing, what you're working towards and stuff like that, put yourself in a position where it could be a thing in the future. Look for ways to do that instead of just wallowing and be like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like this. Set yourself up for success by doing stuff, even freshman, sophomore year, whatever, stuff like that, towards what you're actually passionate about enjoying. And you could always like switch your major and do all that stuff, like pretty much every student does. I mean, including myself. And it's kind of like the same idea, but work towards your dreams, goals, all that stuff. Even if it's like an hour, even a few hours a week, just set these up for success to where you could get to a spot where you want to be. Because trust me, it'll pay off big time. If you're passionate about it and you maintain that passion for years and work at it for years, you'll get better at it, you'll develop skills, and you can use that as a way to get a job or career, or even like your own income based off what you're doing. This is not really a specific thing, but it's more overarching. If something's scaring you, if something's making you nervous, if something's on your conscience, but it feels like something you should do, I would recommend just going after it, doing it, whatever. If that's going to some class, talking to some girl, joining this club, doing this or that, just go for it. Put it all out there, because like I said before, most people don't care. They'll forget about it, whatever, stuff like that. So just put it out there, try your best, and I'm telling you, you'll be surprised with the results. And to wrap it up, good old number 50. Trust me about this, you'll be a much different person 4 years later. You'll change a lot, you'll change in ways you never would expect it. You'll grow, you'll whatever, get through experiences, all this stuff. And it's really cool to see, honestly. It's cool to see the change that could happen in that time, and it sets you off for a great life, whatever it is after it. Hope you have a great experience. I appreciate any of you guys who watched the video. Subscribe and like if you want more stuff like this. If you didn't like it, then don't. I don't really care. But have a good rest of your day. Have a good time in college, and see you guys next time. Peace out.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, and by the way, make sure to have a fun time, because you know we get down over here.